Hi, my name is Ray, and today I would like to welcome you to A Moment with the Author, where we interview local authors and let them tell their story. Today we're joined by Wayne Triplett, who's written two different books. You're working on a third book from what I understand. He's a retired educator, assistant principal, and now a pretty prolific author, it looks like.
Thank you.
We just want to thank you for joining us, Wayne. We're glad to have you here.
Well, thank you for having me.
Well, you sounds like you've got some real deep personal experiences that you share in these books. Tell us a little bit about each book. It looks like you've written two, you've got a third one in the works.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
This Little Light of Mine, The Sun Will Come Out Tomorrow, and then in 2012 it looks like you're coming out with Heaven, There's No Place Like Home.
Right.
So why did you write these books, Wayne?
Well, I have always felt that the best stories that I could share would be ones that come from my personal experience, from my heart. And actually, my writing has become my ministry to others, a way to share Christ. There's no fluff, there's no fiction, it's just faith-based, inspirational writing and reading. I'm a two-time cancer survivor, and I know more than anything now, particularly, that every moment counts in life, and the time I have left, I want it to be productive for Him. I guess my writing actually just began as a series of ideas, and I felt driven to get it on paper, basically. And my books will follow me after I'm gone as my legacy. And one thing for sure, folks, you will need some Kleenexes handy when you read my books. And you asked about my first book, This Little Light of Mine. This is my hero, folks, in the middle. This is Kevin, my son. He was my best friend and my hero. He fought the courageous 7-year battle against bone cancer, osteosarcoma, and developed in 2000 at age 13, and in 2006 he went on to be with the Lord. My quest was to save his life, and through cancer research, when he was given a week to live, and through the grace of God, he lived an additional 18 months. His courage, his faith, his music lives on to bless people even today. In fact, in this book, which chronicles his 7-year battle, it also has his high school autobiography, which is very compelling.
Wow.
My second book, The Sun Will Come Out Tomorrow, I have met so many people who lost kids during my research for that book. And we've got to admit, the loss of a child, of your child, is the ultimate loss. And it's heart-wrenching, it's gut-wrenching, it's the stomach ache that never ends. So I sought out to write the book that I actually needed during my process of grieving. The idea is to minister to others, and through meeting others, there are 18 narratives in that book from parents that I have met. They share their stories of grief and heartache from infancy to adult, covering suicide, the idea of sudden death, chronic death like Kevin's is all dealt with. And death isn't pretty at all, but it's an exclusive club that many of us are now members of that we didn't want. In fact, what I always say, there are many books out about grief. Why is there need for another one? Who better to soften the blow of grief in someone than someone that suffered it themselves? So I write from a personal experience format on that.
Well, I tell you, I think that's what separates your books from a lot of books that are out on the market on grief, is the fact that you've actually walked through what you're talking about.
And still walking.
Yeah, and still walking. You know, so many times there's an ivory tower knowledge behind a book that's authored, but not a really deep personal experience that people can draw from. So I think a lot of people that are dealing with grief and are looking for comfort are going to find comfort in your books because you've walked where they've walked.
I have mailed my book all over the country from people that have inquired about it. And I'd like to share a quote that Kevin gave in his comments. Fighting cancer has been the roughest battle of my life, but I believe it's brought me closer to God, and it's made me a better person. And I think it's God's purpose for my life, in spite of what's happened to me, to make the best of difficult days, to make lemonade from lemons.
Wow. Wow. And it sounds like that's just what he did, and that's what you're doing.
And through the proceeds from both book sales, it benefits his memorial scholarship, which I give annually. In May, it will be the 5th consecutive year I presented it. I've given almost $7,000 to high school seniors who have gone through heartache or need financial support. So it's a gift that keeps giving.
Wow, that's really awesome. Well, Wayne, what do you really want people to take away from these books? When they get done with that last page, what do you want them to get most of all?
I want them to feel encouraged from reading both books and but basically say God does have a special plan for each of us in our lives, and it's all about figuring out what that plan is and being receptive to it, and then contributing to our fellow man as best we can afterwards. So to make every moment count for Him, because laying up riches in heaven is what we're doing when we're helping our fellow man. And I appreciate it, and that's my goal.
That's powerful. Wayne, thank you so much. Really encouraged by your books. We want to encourage you to come on down to the Cornerstone or visit us online at cornerstoneboone.com, where you can pick up Wayne's books. And we'll also have a book signing in the works that we'll leave more information on the website.
May I share my book website?
Absolutely, Wayne.
crossofcancer.com. Find out all about them.
Make sure to visit Wayne's website. Make sure to visit our website. And we want to thank you once again for joining us. Thanks.